This project was funded by the Jesuit Refugee Service with support from the SICAP programme. The Social Inclusion and Community Activation programme is co-funded by the Irish Government through the Department of Rural and Community Development and the European Social Fund Plus under the Employment, Inclusion, Skills and Training Programme 2021 to 2027.
My name is Alona Borysenko and now I live in Newcastle, West Limerick.
Alona, tell me a bit about yourself.
Yeah, in a peaceful time in Ukraine, I was a mommy. I just became a mommy not so long time ago. Before I was working in a financial company. When I couldn't do my casual job, I started making chocolate at home and being with my little one as well. So the war starts. The biggest my fear was what will happen with my little one. More than 5 years with my husband and nothing was happening. And we visit a lot of clinics and we would be trying and trying again. And nobody can explain why we can't have a kid, because everything was fine. And when I just gave up and said, okay, I can't do that anymore. No more tests, no more clinics, no more doctors. I can't see them anymore. And my husband had a birthday and I gave him a huge present, the vacation to Egypt. So we went there, 2 of us, and go back 3. And when the war starts, I was all the time praying and saying, gosh, we was waiting for that so long time not to do it because of that stupid war. It can't be true.
And what was it like hearing that news that you were pregnant?
Actually, I have a little one when the war starts. First was the COVID, when I was pregnant. So my husband was laughing all the time, said, oh my gosh, lady, you chose the wrong time to become pregnant and being a mommy. And then war starts and he said again, gosh, lady, you couldn't choose the better time for it. I said, God gives it now, so I can do nothing with it.
And currently in Newcastle West, who is living here in the home with you?
My mom, my dad and my son live with me. First became 3 of us, me, my mom and my little one. And then my dad had a heart attack in Ukraine. And we was worried about him a lot because he needed all the time care. And I called my brother and some other relatives to help him with it. And just when he was able to fly, we decided to collect him because it's not the best variant to stay there when the city is all the time bombed, you have no electricity, no heat, and that's not the best place to stay and go back to normal after the heart attack anyway.
And how is your father now?
He's much better. We're still collecting some medicine from Ukraine because his English is not quite good to visit doctors here in Ireland, and he's afraid of it. You know, person in such age, it's very hard to assure that it's able and he can do that. I can help him with the translation and everything. But no, I need a Ukrainian doctor. He will understand my needs and give me the best.
And your English is brilliant. How did you learn the language?
I learned it in gymnasium. It's a specialized school in Ukraine. Then I came to the university. It was a public relation course, so there was a very good English teachers as well. And I have a very good practice when I was working in Odessa. It's a very big city, a big port, and there was a lot of foreign visitors in our hotel and Irish pub. So I think that gave me a lot.
Can you tell me then, what was life like for you growing up?
I was born in the Soviet Union. Ukraine was a part of, I don't know how even to say it. I don't want to say that we was a part of Russia because it's not true. Because USSR include a lot of different countries and Ukraine just was a part of it. So we used to think that we are all brothers, and my mom and dad still think like that in some cases. So when we grow up, the Ukraine become independent, and that was really good, but it was very hard because, you know, it's like a child growing up from the very beginning of its life and it don't know what to do, how to grow up, how to get some experience in this life. So that was hard. We not always had a lot of food. Thanks God, my dad's parents live in the small village, and they had chickens, and they have their own garden, and they always support us with some food. In this case, that was very good. And after the school, I decided to learn English. I actually had the German courses and the Polish, but I didn't speak those languages, so I don't remember them at all because I didn't use it in my everyday life. I decided to give a little bit possibility to my little brother. He is younger than me. So I knew that my parents won't be able to teach both of us, and they won't have enough money for that. So I started working in a little pub nighttime, and I was studying at the daytime as well. So I usually become very tired, but it really was that because I know what for I'm doing that. After I get the education, I went to another city and lived separately. There I get a very good job in Alcatel-Lucent company. We work with a Vodafone at that time, but after a couple of years, that company decided that they don't need the small parts of it, and they will have just the big ones like in Kyiv, capitals of different other countries, so just one left in Ukraine. And I was not able to work there because they already have a lot of stuff. So I found a financial company and started to work there. That was really good, but pregnancy changed everything for me, for better, of course. So I have my own little business, and I was making chocolate at home, and I was very glad about that because I can work and at the same time take care about my little one. That was amazing.
Your home city was Kyiv, is that correct?
Yeah.
How would you describe Kyiv?
Kyiv is a huge city. I usually don't go out far from my house, so mostly I was settling in my region, going to the shop, park, because it's like in Newcastle. Our region is even smaller than Newcastle West. So we had everything we need there. The hospital, a lot of pharmacies, shops, and everything. There is a little lake and a forest nearby. There is a huge park, beautiful one, with a lot of trees, with the berries. So in the summertime, we're gonna go to swim with my little one and then go back to the park, eat some berries, and go back home after. So that's amazing.
And tell me then about Ukraine. And what is it like to be a Ukrainian?
Ukraine is a very different country. It depends, I think, the country it border with. If we will take a look closer to Poland, they spoke pure Ukrainian and with a little bit Polish words, and they have a lot of historical castles and buildings there. The south of it, which was closer to Russia, and it have more industrial type of buildings. There have a lot of factories, and Odessa, Mykolaiv, that part, which is closer to the sea. It's very interesting because of its architecture. In the oldest time, there was a lot of foreign architects came there to build it, from France, Italy, Spain. It's incredible. If you've never seen that, I don't know how to explain that. It have, kind of little part of every country. Every French architect bring a part of his heart and his culture and build something here. The German brings something from their culture. It's amazing. And you can explain that because it's old city, and yeah, there they have new regions, a lot of different, more modern houses, but the main part of it, the central one, is the old and very beautiful. And it made with very special bricks. They took it out from the ground and built all the city with it. And now they have a kind of tunnels under the city. It actually was made by the buildings And they, from time to time, take the part of it and part and part. We call it catacombs. And now they have even excursions. They're the nearest catacomb, they have just 2 or 3 levels. And the deepest catacombs, they have 8-level house or something like that, very deep.
And the history then and kind of culture of Ukraine, how would you describe that?
Our culture is very deep. And now, especially in the big cities, traditions are nearly lost. Because people used to live the modern life, the fast one. But in the small villages and in the small cities, there are a lot of traditions, very interesting, including a lot of different things for every party, every event. For Christmas, it's one kind of events, the songs, the decorations. For Easter, it's another ones, and food. Ukraine have a lot of different kind of food, and when we usually came to my grandma, mostly we visit her twice a year, Easter and Christmas. They have a lot of food in their table. That was meat, mushrooms, some desserts, salads and everything. And they was all the time praying that next year they want to have the same quality and quantity of food and even more. And they want their family become bigger next year, not smaller. Because they have hunger a couple times. If you know, it was in 1931, 1933, and then the war, the Second World War, so it was a hard time for them as well. And just when the war starts in my country, I understood how important it is to have food for your family and see how your family is growing up, not become smaller, not to lose someone from your members. My grandma always said that war is a horrible thing and I don't want you to see it. And I said, gosh, what a ridiculous. It's the 21st century, it can't be true. It won't happen again, never and ever. But we couldn't even imagine that it will.
And can you remember the day that the war started?
Perfectly remember that day, because the day before we was on the playing ground and on the park with my little one, and he had the girlfriend, her Diana, and we was just walking through the park, and Irina, her mom, said, gosh, that something happened there. Look at that. There was one helicopter after another just racing the sky. And we decided, I don't know, is it possible the war starts? She said, oh, no, of course not. We've been talking about it a couple weeks ago, and you go back to that again. It can't happen. No, never. And next day she had the birthday, and I asked, maybe she will visit us, and we will have a cup of coffee and have a little celebration. She said, no, we will visit my parents first, and we'll see you in the evening. And when I wake up in the morning, I took my phone to congratulate her with the birthday, and I saw a lot of news about the war stars, and I said, gosh, it can be true. I really didn't believe that. Before watching the news, I saw the houses and the buildings and the streets I knew before the attack. Because, you know, first time you're watching it like a movie. The strange people, the strange nature, streets you never saw. But when you saw the places you was before, and you know how was it before the war, it just turned your mind upside down. Because it's not a movie anymore. Because you knew how it was before, and you can see by your own eyes how is it now. That was very hard.
What was your initial reaction then in terms of your safety of you and the safety of your family?
Everyone in my family have different reactions, actually. The first thing I did, I make a little bed, kind of bed, with the mattresses in my bathroom, because it was the safest place in my house. And we used to spend there all the time with my little one, because now in Ukraine we have the phones, and it always say when we have attack, rockets flying to Ukraine or something like that. But that first day we haven't got nothing like that, and you was worried all the time, because you didn't know what kind of rocket, drone or something else came and from where. Now we have a lot of publics, and Telegram and Viber and WhatsApp and a lot of groups which saying about the alert. But that time we had nothing and we were afraid of everything actually. I knew that kids should go out from there for a couple hours a day to breathe the fresh air and to have a vitamin D from the sun. But we was afraid of everything because I was just holding him with the hand all the time. And as every child, he was ready to discover this world. He was trying to pick up every stone, every stick he could find. And I was afraid that it's a kind of mine or something. And that was a horror. When we came to the playing ground and I set him into the slide down and catch at the same time because something can be in the sand. I was afraid of it. When I put him into the seesaw, he showed me with his little finger to the other side of it and said, "Diana, where?" And I didn't know how to explain to the 1.5-year boy that Diana can't be there because she's hiding from the war as well in a different part of Kyiv. And we can't cross the bridge now because actually right side and left side of Kyiv was part that time. And we was not able to see our relatives or friends who was staying in the other bank. And when he asked me when, I just started crying because it was hard to explain him that he might never see his friend, because I couldn't promise him that I will save him from this war. And I couldn't say that Diana will survive as well, because it will be a lie. No one can promise that, because it's a war and everything can happen every minute.
What was the advice from President Zelensky and government officials at that time?
When the war just starts, they start a kind of marathon of news, and it's still going on all the channels. So they said, staying near the TV and believe just the official information from the government. Don't believe the publications on the newspapers or some Telegram groups or something like that, because that can be fake from Russians, just to scare you afraid and make a panic. So we tried to listen just those news, but that was horrible because my brother was that time in Irpin and there was no connection with him. We tried to call him a couple times a day, but no signal at all. So in a couple weeks, when he already called us and said, "I'm in a safety place," thanks God. I asked, how did you get there? And he explained that he came to the bus which was going to the city, to the Kyiv, and he was going to visit us. But the guardian said that they can collect just kids and ladies and some older people. So he is not able to go with the evacuation bus. And when he asked if he able to just drive his bicycle after that bus, they said, no, it's not safety and we can't promise that you will survive after that. And he closed his eyes and said, okay, I'll do that by myself. He just was trying not to take a look for everything around and see just on the road. Don't see all the burned technic, tanks, the pieces of body around. He was just driving and looking at the road. And the only thing he was thinking about to get safety to his grandma's house. And thanks God he did it. And he gave us a call, and after, a couple of days you are waiting, nothing happening. You don't know what to think. And thanks God it happens. Before we saw on the news when the European Bucha was deoccupied and how many graves was there, how many buses and cars was shuttered when people was trying to evacuate. They even have a lot of signs on their glasses that there are kids, but no one was listening to that. That cars was crashed with the tanks. shot it with the guns. I think the Russian soldiers, they're not humans even. They are creatures. Because there is no humanity in their ways and things they was doing.
And is your brother safe now?
Yes, he's safe and he's a photographer. And he started playing the electric heater. He has a YouTube channel and he is collecting the money for donation. So it's kind of grateful for him and kind of help for saving his life, I think.
And you mentioned your husband earlier on. Is your husband currently in Ukraine?
Yes, my husband is in Ukraine and he can't cross the border because he's a big and tough guy. He can protect our country if it will be needed. First time when the war just came, he was helping as IT specialist. He was in IT army, but very soon the government decided they need kind of professional ones. So they started teach different people, and soon they have a professional IT army to do their job, and he won't need it anymore. So he stayed there and helped me as a volunteer, and he's still working.
And is that a worry for you, as you're here in Ireland, your husband in Ukraine, is it a constant worry for you for his safety?
Of course it is. This winter is much easier because the previous one, they nearly have no heat because all the structure was spread the heat through all of Ukraine was bombed by Russia. So they have no electricity mostly, and when you have no electricity you can't use your phone or internet, so we can't contact them for a couple of days. And as he told me after, he just used to send a message, and when he knew when he will have a little bit connection, it will be sent. So when just one message from his phone gone, he can type another one and send it just for in case if he will have another connection, and in a couple hours or days it will be sent it again, just for us to know that he is alive and everything's fine. The biggest his worry is that his son can forget him, because he was just 1.5 when we came to Ireland, and he said he's too small to remember me. You should call me every time when you have a possibility like this. I said maybe we will come again and you can hug him, you can kiss him, you can hold him. And said, no, I love him too much to do that. It's too dangerous. So we was in Ukraine just once since the war starts. It was the previous March. We went there just for 1 week because my son has a little problem, the voice problem. And we tried to sort it out with it here in Ireland, but it's a long time to wait. We get the permission with the Irish doctor about a year after we gave a call. And he said that we will wait again and take a look what will happen. But in Ukraine, the doctor said that it's probably better to have an operation now when he's younger, and it will be easier for him. But we was going to make that operation the previous March, but Ukraine was all the time bombed, and when it is an alert, everything's closed. Transport is not moving. All the clinics, all the banks, all the shops are closed. So you should just go back home and wait. We tried to get to the clinic a couple of times, but we didn't get there, unfortunately. So we should go back to Ireland just with the tests and after the consultation. And we tried to show it here in Ireland that we have approvedness for this operation. They said maybe it worked like that in Ukraine, but not in Ireland. We have the different opinion.
And when you returned to Ukraine that time, did you find a change within the country?
Of course, usually all the playgrounds and park was crowded. a lot. That was snowy time. In Ukraine we have a lot of snow, and in March as well. And usually kids driving sleds, skiing from the slides, playing snowballs, making angels on the snow. That's the funny time. But when we came, we saw just a couple people on the streets, not much really, and nearly no kids. Because I think everyone was hiding their kids somewhere in the houses or just sent them across the border as we did to some safety places. But in fact, all the other stuff was the same. Life was gone. Clinics, banks, shops, everything was working as it was before. It was just not so crowded and a little bit scary. That was the difference.
As the war escalated, when did you make the decision that it wasn't safe for you anymore in Ukraine?
As I told you, I was not able to go for a walk or go to the playing ground with my little one because he started afraid of any loud noise. There was a lot of rocket flying on the sky, and our Ukrainian guardians was shooting them, so the small pieces can fall down and crush something. But he was not afraid of that pieces, he was afraid of that sound. When he just hears something is blowing up or shatters, something like that, he was running the entrance door and asked someone to open that. That was, very unusual for me because my little one was always like being outside, and bring him back home, that was a big deal for me. I don't want to go back home. I want to stay there for a longer time. And, he not so long time just start walking, even being at home, when he hear any loud noise. All the time he was hiding in the bathroom when I make a little bed for him. So once when I was preparing something on the kitchen, I was making a dinner or lunch, I don't remember actually, and something with a fork or knife fall down on the floor, and that make a loud sound. He was collecting the puzzle, playing something in his room, and he just he went. In 1 second he was already in the bathroom, and I said to my husband, we can't live like this, because his mental health ruining. He should grow up in a normal system, in a normal world, with all that fears, and I don't want he being afraid of everything around. And even now he is sure about the vehicles and techniques, but when it start working, he's shaking and trying to catch my hand with his little hands, because he really believed that it's safety when mommy is nearby.
The realization came that it was not safe anymore in the country. Did you come to Ireland straight from Ukraine, or did you stop in other countries on the way to Ireland?
We lived in our bathroom 50 days before we go back to Poland. I collect a small bag with just the most needed things for my little one and myself. There was just one more pair of jeans and jumper to change it from time to time. And we went to Poland with one family, our friends. That family went to Spain, have no language, nothing like that, never been there. But thanks God they got a very good family there, which gave them a house, and they protect and take care about them till this time, even after the years. And I was choosing between the countries with the English language, because for me it was very important to have some guarantees, to have a possibility to find a job, because I knew that in Ireland they have some money for Ukrainians who just arrive and they can help for the first time, but I knew that won't long forever. So I'll be choosing between the Great Britain and Ireland. But for my own opinion, Great Britain was like a Russia for Ukraine. They also fight Ireland and they took a part of it. And most Irish people, they don't speak their own Irish language. They forgot about their traditions, songs and everything. They mostly speak just English. So I don't want the same situation become with Ukraine. I don't want to give part of it to Russia, and I don't want all the country spoke Russian language. Because Ukrainian one is very good, very beautiful. So I decided Ireland will be better. And it's quite far from Russia. So we came here from Poland. My mom said that she don't want let me to go somewhere with the little one. It's a different country and she won't let me go alone. So we wait for a couple more days in Poland and she came and go to Ireland with us already. In Poland I met a lot of good people who was taking care about the Ukrainians. Some of them bring some kids, toys, and I don't know how to call it, sweets, maybe. Yeah, sweets, treats for kids. That was Easter that time. So we came to Ireland with a lot of chocolate, candies, and presents from different people. I met one volunteer in Poland, Henry McKenty, and he asked me to let him know when we will arrive to Ireland, because he was Irish as well. I started text with him that we're already here in a safety place and everything's fine. Now we are waiting for some accommodation. And he said, if you don't mind to live in a rural island, I can collect you to my family. It's a lovely place with beautiful nature. And I have 2 doggies, 2 kids. Tola won't be alone all the time. He will have someone to play with him. So I decided that the good thing to do, because we already know that guy. He's kind and good, so why not? I didn't know what kind of Irish people are. It's better to live with someone we already know. In a couple of days, Henry collected us and said that we can live as long time as we need. But I know that he has his own family and he anyway will want to have some visitors and friends and he should live his own life. My husband always told me that don't think about it, just think about it like it is a vacation. Not long-time vacation. And I was trying to think like that. But in a couple of months when nothing was changing for better and the war was still in Ukraine, I decided it's better to find a kind of job. But that was a rural island, totally rural, and we can just having our lunch or dinner and watching the rabbits jumping between the bushes or pheasants hiding on the grass. We saw some foxes and deers, so that's amazing. There are beautiful view, but no cars, no transport, nothing like that. That was hard for me because I know that even in the smallest village in Ukraine, we usually have at least one bus going to the nearest city and go back after the evening, so all the farmers can go there and sell their fruits, veggies, milk, eggs, everything they have on their farm and go back after with the money for their families. But here in Ireland it's quite different. There is no transport at all. To find a job, I visit a couple places where I can get by bicycle. I found one farm. It was about 20 minutes drive by bicycle. Unfortunately, we have just a little Emily's bicycle. She was a teenager, 10-year-old. So that was really, really funny when I was driving that bike. The pink one was a basket. And usually it was early in the morning because it's a farm and they start working early. There was a road going through the forest and it was a strange one because forest was growing up somewhere down. And when the road starts, I know it was 2 meters under. And once when I stopped near a first house after the forest, I saw the huge truck following me and 8 cars and no one making a noise. No signals, no lights, nothing like that, no beeping. I think they was just afraid that I will fall down there. Yeah, that was funny. I was going to work on that farm, and my mom as well, but she understood it very soon that she won't be possible to do that because it's a heavy job, and she was staying at home with my little one. And they promised to give us an accommodation, but they didn't get in time. That was nearly at the end of the summer, and we promised to Henry that we will move out at the beginning, maybe at the end of August. On the farm they asked wait for months, maybe it's not finished yet, and we actually have no time because I understand that summer in Ireland is very short. And this lovely family should enjoy the time with their relatives and friends till it's possible. So we rushed started to look for the other accommodation, what was not very easy here in Ireland. And thanks God we have a big luck to find a house here in Newcastle West. We even didn't take a look. We just said we'll took it. And when we came here, that was one more problem, because we still didn't open our bank account with my mom to get our payment from the job, from the farm, and to sort it out with all the bills. We should have that bank account. So our employers couldn't send us the money for the card for our job. We've got no payment because we've been working, and we should pay for the rent at the same time, so that was hard. But we have collected a little bit money, and we bring some we have from Ukraine. We really believe that it will be enough for the first time. In a couple months we get back our payment, and I was so happy that I was going to share with all the world. I started searching for the people in need in Ukraine whose houses have been crashed or who have been damaged by the Russian army, on the Viber groups, on the Facebook, and we sent parcels from here, from Ireland, because the Irish government gave a possibility to send 2 kgs per one person to Ukraine as a humanitarian aid, and it was for free. So we started helping in this way to other Ukrainians we never met before and never knew. But when you get the photos and letters after that, thank you very much, you made our day, you even can't believe how does it really help. That was amazing, because I know one girl, after the Russian attack, her house stayed without the windows, and all the stuff in the house was full of small pieces of glass, so they had a lot of food, but it was dangerous to eat it because it can contain glass and they could die after that. All the clothes was crushed with little pieces, and they have nothing to wear, nothing to eat. I even can't imagine how they feel having a lot of food and have no possibility to eat it. That was horrible. So we sent a couple parcels to them as well, and she said to me, first time you text me, I said that it's a joke. Some person I never met before will send me the parcel from far Ireland with the food. It can't be true. You know, after the war starts, there was a lot of people who was trying to get some money on it, and that people didn't believe me. They thought that it's kind of trick, and I want to get something from them. And then when they get a parcel from me, my mom, my dad, and my little one, because we used to send 4 parcels per week per each, they was really surprised. It was 8 kgs of different kind of food and clothes we bought in the charity shops there. They was surprised. So after that, I decided we can do something more, and the winter was quite close, so we started collect the bags and old candles and send it to Ukraine as well, because they was making the candles for the open space for our guardians, for our soldiers. And we sent, I don't know, over 100 kgs per month.
Does it keep that connection there for you in Ukraine where you can help and help others in need like that?
I think it's very important, even now when the outposts don't give the possibility to send the humanitarian aid for free, we found a private transporter and they said they bring the humanitarian aid to Ukraine for free if we will have the official list from our army or from charity foundation with a stamp and sign on it that they need some stuff. For example, we are sending the same candles and we're sending the sheets to make nets, masking nets for our army. We're sending a lot of different spices to prepare the dry soup for our guardians. We send the chocolate, fruits, nuts, because girls in Ukraine are preparing the healthy bars, the dry food, long-term day. So a lot of stuff. Now we are taking care about the hospital as well, because a lot of our soldiers get different traumas and even not being protected in our country, because they can't do that. They still need our care. And we send pillows, blankets, the socks, trousers, and all the stuff they might need there.
How have you adapted then in Ireland, and how have your family adapted here in Ireland?
Ireland is very good and Irish people are very kind. That's amazing. When we just came, a lot of people ask if we are Ukrainians and maybe we'll need some help with anything. And even when we said no, they bring some toys for my little one. They try to give us some money. Even now, knowing that we are collecting candles, we're collecting the vapes, the electric cigarettes, because I know one guy in Ukraine, he's taking off the batteries from it and make the torches for our guardians and the power bank, the portative chargers. So they just bring it and leave it near our door if we are not at home, so we can collect it and send. It's amazing, and there are a lot of different things in Ireland I really like, especially about the food. There is a food bank for the people who is in need, and you can just come and collect some dry food like cereals, cans or something like that. And I already know all the shops when they have reduced their stuff, their food, because every shop do it in a different time. So I know what time I should visit which shop to get the best product for the better price. And it really makes life easier.
What has been your biggest surprise then, I suppose, with Ireland?
I don't know. Maybe it's the roads, I think. Because as I told you, we used that even the smallest village have at least one bus per day to have a connection with the other biggest cities. That was a big surprise for me, that very unusual. And the medicine as well. In Ukraine, I know that I can call any time of day and night and said that something is wrong with me or my little one, and they will come in a couple of minutes. And here in Ireland, it's a little bit different. You should take your own car, bring your kid to the hospital, and wait a couple hours. Sometimes it can take all the night even. That was a big surprise for me.
What are your feelings now about the war?
First time I just came in Ireland, I was waiting for the war to stop in a month, in 2 months. And when you all the time live with that feeling and nothing is happening, it really makes you depressed all the time. So I just decided to help as much as it's possible and don't give to myself any terms when it will finish. Just do as much as you can and live here and now, to be all the time in touch with your family and take care about my little one, because nobody knows when it will stop or it will escalate to the Third World War. Hopefully it won't, but nobody knows. That's the problem, because I'm really afraid of that. One thing when you're staying at your own home when the war starts, and it's quite different when you're renting the house somewhere and you should get a job for it and you should get some money and take care about everything. In some other country, just a guest, and you're not the owner of this house. And you know, if you won't get enough money to pay for that, they will find some other. It's very easy because a lot of Irish people, I'm sure, will be glad to have this house in the city. So hopefully everything will be good, because now I have 2 part-time jobs. I work at the bakery, and I was helping in intro office as a volunteer first. Then I contacted to the translate company, which helped me to work there officially. Sometimes I help when Ukrainians in the region have some courses, like first aid course, the fire emergency, and so on. So I work there as interpreter as well. So hopefully I will have enough working hours to rent this house and to pay for everything, all the bills and so on. Because for now, I'm really glad about what I have. I have the fridge full of food, and your, grandma, grandpa live when it was a hunger, when there was a war. You somehow feel it, and you trying to collect as much food as it's possible just for a case, because it should be in the house. And when my friends, the Mackenzie's family, who lived with before, visit us, they said, "Oh my goodness, you've got too much food. If something will happen, we will come to you and we will definitely survive."
And final question to you. What are your hopes for the future for you, your family, and for Ukraine?
I don't know what will happen with Ukraine, because now there are a lot of small conflicts around the world, and I'm really afraid it can escalate and become the Third World War. I don't want to think about it, but I don't know what should happen to Russia. Just stop attack Ukraine. I'm sure that even if Putin will die, it won't help, because mostly all the Russians, they are freaks. A lot of years, the Soviet Union and Russian government just assure them that Ukrainians are enemies. They live better, they have more, and you should hate them because of that. So I'm sure even if all the government of Russia will die, it won't change anything. If the war will stop, I'll be glad my husband will cross the border and visit us. I want to show him how we live there, invite him to all those beautiful people we met there, and who knows, maybe he will decide to stay there with us, because it's a lovely and safety place. If he decided Ukraine is more comfortable for him, it's better, we can go back there if it will be really safety. Just hoping for better and doing as much as we can. That's all we can do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.